Welcome back, my beautiful global family, to Meghan and Harry Tales, the space where we keep it honest, powerful, and refreshingly real. I'm your host, Adrian, and today we're diving into a topic that has stirred rightful outrage across social media. Yet another video of King Charles blatantly ignoring black children during a royal walkabout and the growing chorus of voices demanding accountability. So, brew that tea, get cozy, and let's get into it. So that is another video showing King Charles shaking the hands of white people while skipping black people. And no, this isn't AI. This is actually real. You can see King Charles shaking the hands of white people, and then, when he got to these two little kids, he just skipped them. And you can clearly see that these children had their hands stretched out, full of hope and excitement, expecting a simple handshake like everyone else. But King Charles deliberately skipped them. It's heartbreaking. And let's not pretend this is an isolated incident. This isn't the first time King Charles has done something like this. There are multiple videos of him greeting and shaking hands, but only with white people. When he gets to black people, he skips them. Full stop. One time, I remember seeing a black man struggling, quite literally reaching out, hoping for that moment of acknowledgement, and King Charles just kept ignoring him. The bodyguard even started pushing the man away. It was humiliating to watch. So why do black people even show up at these events, only to be dismissed like this? Honestly, I don't usually feel bad for the adults in these situations because, at this point, the signs are clear. The racism within the royal institution isn't hidden, it's practically a feature. Adults have seen it. They've watched the videos. If they choose to attend royal events, then I guess some of them want to experience the racism firsthand. But the children didn't deserve this. These kids were so full of joy, maybe even pride, to see someone who they believed was a leader, only to be snubbed publicly and left feeling invisible. Can you imagine them going home and trying to make sense of it all, telling their parents that they held out their little hands and were ignored? That pain, that memory is going to stay with them forever. No one, especially not innocent children, should be made to feel like they're unworthy or beneath acknowledgement simply because of the colour of their skin. King Charles made those children feel that way, and that is shameful. What makes it worse is how damaging this is to the image of the monarchy. They're constantly being photographed, dodging black people in public, and yet they have the audacity to say they welcomed Meghan Markle into the royal family with open arms. Really? Does that sound like a family that would ever welcome a biracial woman or any person of colour? Of course not. This family looks like they'd rather spit on you than shake your hand if you're black. If they can do this out in public, imagine what happens behind closed doors, without cameras, without accountability. What Meghan must have gone through, I can't even begin to imagine. And let's not forget, this is the same King Charles who now claims he wants to reconnect with his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. The same man who deliberately ignored two young black children in public. If that's how he treats black children on camera, what would he do in private? Archie and Lilibet may be living in America, but they carry black heritage. That's enough for Charles to treat them just like the kids he ignored in that crowd. But thankfully, the world is watching. These acts don't go unnoticed anymore. People are calling it out, and it's being recorded permanently, and people are rightfully angry. One person online said, "I've seen so many clips of Charles Parker Bowles III skipping black people in queues." Meghan never stood a chance in that family. It's true. She never had a fair shot. From day one, she was up against generations of bias and a system rooted in exclusion. And yet the royals want us to believe they gave her everything? Another person said, "I wish there comes a day when no black person shows up to be ignored. Let the tap dancers support them." And you know what? That day needs to come. Because honestly, how many more times does this need to happen before we all collectively say, enough is enough? Some people might still believe they'll be treated differently, that they're the exception. But if they didn't treat Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, with dignity, then they sure as hell won't treat anyone else better. One commenter summed it up powerfully. "This is the man who is head of the Commonwealth and the Church of England. He is not fit for purpose. His bodyguards pretend not to see him rejecting a black child. That little boy is going to remember that moment for the rest of his life." Another person quoted William's infamous claim, "We're very much not a racist family," only to add, "Well, that was a very big lie." And they're right. Every time the royal family pulls stunts like this, they only reinforce everything Meghan has said, everything the world has seen. There's also another layer to this, the Commonwealth. How can the head of the Commonwealth, an organisation full of black and brown countries, get away with such visible racism over and over again? It's disgusting. It's not just about who they do or don't shake hands with. It's about the message they send to the world and to every black child who sees that footage. And speaking of voices being heard, did you catch that wild clip from LBC? A caller called in and said he bets Prince Harry will be the next King of England. He said, "Only Harry could save England. I don't think William has the potatoes. I bet you, sportsman's bet, that Harry is the next King of England." Now, that's hilarious. Obviously, Harry's not going to be king. That's not how monarchy works, but the sentiment is interesting because it reflects how so many Brits really feel. They see Harry as capable, compassionate and grounded. They see William as entitled, lazy and lacking any kind of charisma. The contrast couldn't be more clear. Of course, some folks in the UK media are jumping up and down with joy every time there's a whisper of reconciliation. But let's be honest, Harry isn't coming back to the royal fold. He's not returning as a working royal. That door is closed. He's happy in Montecito, living life on his terms. And even though the British media love to paint this picture of a nation that hates Harry and Meghan, the reality is different. Many Brits do love them. They admire their courage, their independence, and their refusal to bow to toxicity. That's why you hear calls like, "Only Harry can save England," because people recognise that he actually does the work. He shows up, he speaks with purpose, he fights for causes that matter. Meanwhile, William and Kate are out here dodging responsibilities and disappearing for months at a time. The truth is, the royal family pushed Harry and Meghan away. Through racism, mistreatment and outright cruelty, they lost not just two working royals, they lost a legacy, they lost the future. And now, with each viral clip of King Charles skipping black children, they lose even more public trust. They reinforce every negative truth we've known for years. They cement their legacy, not one of service or honour, but of exclusion and elitism. But the world is changing. The Sussexes have moved forward. They've created a new life filled with purpose, dignity and grace. It's time for everyone else, including the UK press and monarchy loyalists, to move on too.